Namaste, I'm Brittany Shanae, bringing you life tips for the everyday. Today, I am giving the tarot reading for November 2018 Scorpio new moon. So, the first question that I've asked is, how are we entering the space of the new moon? And what we have is the Three of Wands here. And what this card represents is hard work, working hard for what we desire. Wands or the clubs represent the element of fire. Fire has to do with our inner desire and how we manifest things into the physical. And we have the sun shining in the background, the water looking still in the background, just under the mountains. We have the green grass symbolizing life. And we have a construction here of what looks like a tent or a teepee. What sort of looks like the fruits of our labor are starting to kind of come together now. So some of us might have already gone through our period of turmoil and having done our work for the Venus retrograde and also in it being in opposition to the Uranus retrograde. If you've managed to get this far and things are looking up, bravo, brava. Although we are still in the midst of having work to do, things are possibly looking up for a lot of us. However, the next question I've asked is, what is it that needs to change, right? Because there's always work to do. This spiritual growth is always an upward climb. So what was pulled for what we need to change is the Five of Clubs, or Five of Spades, I'm sorry. So this is actually in reverse. This is how it looks upright. And upright, it looks as if the person who is in our POV is keeping their hands secret, right? There's an opponent that they're trying to outsmart, and they're doing their best to try to play close to the chest, so to speak, or in this case, almost literally. In order for us to stay a step ahead of what's going on. But in reverse, we may be able to interpret this as if maybe we need to expose ourselves a little bit. That right now, this isn't a time to be strategic in a secretive way, right? We are in a Scorpio moon, and one of the characteristics of Scorpios is that they are very secretive. But the reason for that is because of their understanding of the depth of emotion, that oftentimes they are sort of left vulnerable. But on the flip side of that, they are emotionally intelligent people, Scorpio moons tend to be. And so it's possible that maybe we need to sort of loosen up our grip, maybe play things from a different angle, maybe be a little bit more trustworthy of the person on the other side of the table, right? That even though we are sort of in an exchange with them, especially in the case of relationships or romantic relationships, and sometimes it seems like a balancing act or even a battle or a war of some sort with the other people in our lives, that maybe we need to be a little bit more cooperative, and instead of seeing them as an opponent, we can see them as an ally. So last I asked, what does it look like if we refuse to change? And what we have here is the Ace of Cups, or the element of water here, or the Ace of Hearts in this particular deck, the Illuminated Tarot deck. And what this actually looks like is something that's not quite so bad at first glance, right? This means also emotional intelligence. This means self-reliance. This means self-love. This means life. There's a lot of green and a lot of bloom happening here. There's a lot of free flowing of emotion happening here. The downside to this is that Ace symbolizes one, which means that we may find ourselves alone. This isn't necessarily terrible. There's a lot of us who need to spend this time alone, who need to introspect and reflect and figure out where it is they need to change in order to adapt their behavior so they can change those old patterns so they can move into a better look at life and into what they desire, right? So it kind of comes full circle that we work really, 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 really hard for this life that we want. And in the end, though, if we neglect the people around us, we'll find ourselves enjoying it all by our lonesome, right? It's like those people who work hard, hard, hard for their families and they neglect their families. And then in the end, their families leave and they find that they have all this money and all this stability all on their lonesome. And although it's great to have that self reliance, that self independence, at the same time, it's really great to have a tribe or loved ones or family and friends to share that with. So if we don't want to be enjoying the fruits of our labor all by ourselves, it's very important that we consider the people around us and maybe not be so secretive or be so judgmental or so critical or so defensive, making them opponents or making them enemies in some way. Instead, we need to see the people around us as an alliance. You guys excuse my dog in the background. He's not happy that I'm in here and not outside with him. But anyway, that is your November 2018 tarot reading for the new moon in Scorpio. Please leave your comments in the space below. I will leave a link to my blog in the description box as well. Feel free to leave any questions and don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.